folks, welcome to the Weege Show, brought to you by Honda and the CRF250R and CRF450R for 2025. We're back, and so are they. Just hosted the press conference today. Of course, there's so much to talk about. A really relaxed atmosphere. I've hosted this press conference a lot. Last year they went back and looked. We had 30-some minutes of announcements and schedule and watch a TV show here. This year we cut almost all that out. We got right into it with the riders. And I think they enjoyed that. I think they liked it that way. And everyone was open and honest. If you're looking for the thing that will get everyone buzzing, you probably already heard it by now. The series released a social media post earlier today where the fans said to the riders, we think this guy is your biggest rival. Then they asked the riders, do you agree with the fans' take on who your biggest rival is? And then Gent Lawrence's answer, your biggest rival is Hayden Deegan. Gent said we're not even in the same class. He's not even in my league. This is the classic Gent Lawrence, just goofing around. Well, of course, when he says he's not in my league, it's not going to be taken that way. And then Deegan did not take it that way. And then Deegan mentioned in the press conference today that he heard Jen said he's not in his league. And he said if I raced him 250, especially outdoors, I could beat him. So that was the moment of the press conference right there. We'll be back with more. I'm going to talk a little bit about KTM's situation, which is, of course, a hot topic here. People wondering, are they going to keep racing? Is the team going to shut down? Their answer is no. I'll give you more detail later, but I want to watch these guys ride. All right, we're starting the show right here because my whole goal was to actually find a rider who would actually know something about something, and it's not these media goons who are around like Lewis or Michael or Matthes or Kellen, but there is an ex-rider here. There is a rider, professional, former race winner. There's no one else around that could give me any actual analysis.
He's a rider.
That is true. Are you going to be a Supercross rider?
Maybe one.
Oh, maybe. He said maybe. He said maybe. Okay. There's a rider right here. Welcome back to America. Jack Chambers has been on excellent. Oh, no. Right, we're good now.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of here.
Sorry.
Get out of here.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Zach Osborne.
Always working.
Weege Show's getting real analysis. Steve, you're dragging down our YouTube vibe.
Yeah.
Very popular in the pre-race shows.
Yes.
Crowd loved you.
I love YouTube. YouTube loves me.
Yeah. You haven't read the comments?
No.
Very positive.
Okay, thank you.
Very positive. Just don't look at them.
Okay.
Don't read them.
Fair enough.
Now this guy who's raced before.
Yeah.
And this guy who's raced before.
Champion.
What did you champion? What did you see?
Tied on wins.
Who was flying? Yeah, tied on wins.
I don't think it's ever gonna be
No,
broken.
no.
I think we're safe.
Don't.
Are you done? Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
This for sure.
I never know with you.
You never know.
You never know with Zacho. You could be racing East for Triumph.
You never. I cannot.
Oh, you're not eligible.
I'm not eligible.
Okay. What did you see today? Your expert professional eye. I feel like the way this track is laid out, there wasn't much that you could pick out. Was there anything?
Depends on how big the whoops are. They need to change this lane because it's super one line.
This out of home plate?
Yeah, like double, triple off that big one.
Yeah. Deegs jumped over it once.
I saw that.
Deegs
one
jumped
time,
over it
but
once.
He was like maybe 6 feet
Oh.
from the sweet spot to get it to where you
Yeah.
can triple again.
Yes. Yeah, it was tight.
Other than that, I thought Tomac looked super spicy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Cody Shock looked super spicy.
You see Cole Davies?
I did.
Cole Davies looked good.
Cole Davies
Yeah.
is like secretly saucy. He's not really
Yeah.
like flash fast, but he's
Yes.
good in the pockets and like
He's
really
so
meticulous.
soft
Yeah.
when it lands.
Yep.
Yes.
So I did see that as well.
Okay.
450 wise, yeah, I didn't really see much that was like, oh wow.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you this to your expert eye. I did this last year. I surveyed people. I'm like, how much does flying at the test track or struggling even equate to this? And Nick Way said it's literally about 50-50. It almost means nothing. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Is that your experience?
Yeah, I would say 50-50 is pretty good. Like
that's terrible.
Most guys here, and I think coming in, if you ask everyone, it's 100-0. Like they're positive that they've done the right things.
Oh yeah.
They've made the right calls.
Coming in, yes.
But I'd say leaving here, it's 50-50 or worse.
Yes.
And
have you experienced that yourself? Years where you thought you were on it and round one went worse, or you felt terrible and the round one went good?
No, I was always kind of like, I was never a big settings guy, so I was pretty happy with what I had. We had that one weird thing in Salt Lake in 2013 where during the break, Eli and I went to a completely different setting and struggled in the whoops. You don't remember that?
Oh, well, I was thinking beginning of the year, I'm like, Salt Lake, no, we remember.
Salt Lake, that was a real disaster.
Roxon didn't make the main, and then everyone said Eli choked. But the true secret is the bike was a huge problem.
We had an issue, for sure. We changed to a completely different, like, setup, package, swing arm, everything during the east-west break.
And you could not do whoops, right?
No, I was literally doubling through the whoops in the main event and fell over in them doubling. So
oh, God.
It was a disaster.
Tomac went backwards, and everybody said he choked. And then I heard from the team, they're like,
he got
it's the bike.
7th or 9th, and I got 11th or something like that.
But Eli's never in a battle for the lead. He goes backwards.
Yeah, no, it was definitely not him. But other than that, like setup-wise, I never really like missed by a mile. Or was without like outside of clicker range or whatever. So I was never that concerned about Anaheim. One, like for me, it was always just like, had I done enough work? Like I always had, but like in my mind, that was the question.
That's perfect. That was gonna be the next thing I ask. How difficult, and you're honest, so that's why I can ask this question. The last, say, month or 2 weeks, do you start just no matter what, not panicking, but feeling worried that you didn't do enough?
For me, it was always worried like, you got to take care of like every inch that you're not going to crash. Like even with the guys that I work with now this week, I was like, look, this is merely a formality. If it feels remotely sketchy, like just back down. We've done the work, and you can, we're going to have the fitness, like everything's good, but you got to get there first, And like even today, like it's so easy to go out there, fresh bike, fresh everything, track's a little janky and funky, and make a little mistake and tweak something, tweak your thumb or your wrist or whatever, and then you're like in pain for 3 or 4 weeks. It's so easy to make that happen. So that was more my worry, like 2 weeks out, then 1 week out, and then like sometimes that falls in Christmas, so then you've got that distraction as well. So it's just like a little bit of a guessing game.
So your number one goal is like, just don't have a nagging injury coming in.
Past like, let's say December the 20th, then you kind of start to cool the engines a little bit. This year's a little special because it's so late, the 11th, But like those years that are the 3rd or the 4th or whatever, that's like, you just got to get through those last 2 weeks in a decent manner. Most of the work stacked before that anyway, so that was always my concern, was just getting here in a healthy way,
Still working with Joey? Joey's your guy.
Joey, Dylan, Shane.
Ferrandis?
Yeah.
Dylan Ferrandis?
Yep.
Is that new?
End of October.
Okay.
Started,
this off season.
Yeah, this off season.
Okay. How's he going?
Great. Yeah, it's been really good. A big like.
Is he healthy with the illness and all
this?
He's
good. He's really solid. I think as good as he can be. Like, I mean, I think he's 100% ready to go.
Okay.
I think he really likes his bike. He's in a good spot with that. So, yeah, I think a lot of it's going to be start dependent, especially with kind of how the track shaped up today.
Yeah.
I think there will be some little adjustments for tomorrow, just to make open some more lines, but we'll see. I think he's in a really good spot. It's been like kind of refreshing, because not that I had any like ill like thought towards Dylan or something, but he just always kind of does his own things, kind of super closed off and stuff. And now that like he's kind of worked into the group, and he's a really fun guy. Like he's pretty. Once you open him up a little bit like Joey, you think Joey's like this super closed off, like kind of grumpy guy, and then you open him up and he's like Pandora's box and laughs. So a little bit the same with Dylan. I think we all kind of make these assumptions of how someone is or who someone is off of interactions at the gate or in the pits or on TV or whatever, and it's always not it,
No, let's be honest. You were sitting on the couch with a bad back and a #1 plate you couldn't run, and then he was dominating. So you were probably super angry with him just because of that.
No, actually,
he took your title away.
He at one point not recently, but a couple years ago, I sent him a message after the championship, like, hey dude, like, congratulations, you know.
That's
awesome.
cool.
And
Yeah.
he told me that I was the only other rider who did that. So at some point, that was common ground for us. You know? So,
Very good.
That was your title. Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if it's my title. Like, I respect the work that goes in. I know what it takes and how hard it is. Blah blah blah. Like, we can go on for days about that, but like, I respect it. Period.
That's cool. So it would be a little easier to slide into this.
Yeah. I hit him up. I was like, hey man, you know, like, I know you're kind of doing your own thing, but like, if you ever want to join our little group, like, we're not the cool guys, but we get the work done and we have fun. So if you ever want to join, let me know. And you know, we had a couple conversations and just kind of showed him where we're at, what we do, and he was in. So it's been a really fun off season.
All right. Great expert analysis. Careful there. I just want to show the world. Thank you, Zacho.
Like, if you're into like
There's beef here, right? Because the press conference. So here's what happened.
Yeah.
Press conference, people can't see that there's two mics in the audience.
It has to be Steve.
And you can't tell that he has a mic, and you can't tell that he has a mic. So what happens is two people talk over each other every time. It just happened to be you two.
What happened to the girl running around with the microphone saying, okay, and then taking it?
Yeah, that wasn't happening, right?
Right.
Yes. So surely someone watched the press conference, heard you two talk at the same time, and thought it was on purpose to screw each other over.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
No, Supercross did
Yeah.
that. That was a belt thing.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, got some heat going.
Brandon was like, you're up and you're up.
Yeah.
You two go. And then Sean's in the background just like this.
That's the next Instagram of who's your greatest rival.
Yeah.
They just got it right there.
Yeah.
They just got it right there.
But
so you guys
hey,
are not beefing.
Welcome to the press conferences, Steve.
It was shocking.
Are we
It
going to see you after the race?
No, I was sort of threatened to talk today.
was shocking.
Hey,
So,
I
yeah.
think, look, for the record, I think the sport sounds better when Steve Matthes' voice is involved.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Well, you get 5 hours on Monday.
He only. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Weege, do you think you needed my voice more? He's only
No.
saying that. He's only saying that because he and maybe you.
Press conference clips.
No, I thought it was him. SMX race last year. I just see Gypsy and another guy just sitting in the grass.
Oh, no.
Outside the venue. Was it him?
No, the
okay.
other one.
Looked like him.
Yeah. This is Steve's real character being
And I'm
revealed.
driving out.
Yeah.
At first I'm like, look at the loser Gypsy
Sitting in the grass.
grass.
Why were you sitting in the grass?
Waiting for an Uber.
Oh, wow.
But I pulled over.
And everyone drove past. Everyone drove, and they're like, see you, Jace, you good to see you, mate. And then Steve pulls up and he's like, hey man, you need a ride?
Yeah.
And you want to know something?
Yeah.
It's the second time he's done that
Yeah.
for me.
Didn't you give him a ride at Washougal or something?
Washougal.
That was more Michael Lindsay organized it. I didn't really know I was going to Gypsy.
Okay.
But it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
this one was truly.
Just
Hey,
the goodness of your heart.
Yeah.
After I stopped laughing about Gypsy sitting in the grass by himself and the other guy, I was like, let me give him a ride.
The Gypsy fans who hate you are so conflicted right now watching this video.
Yeah. I need gas money.
Yeah. They're so conflicted.
Yeah.
They're like, I heard Matthes is not cool, but we just got evidence.
Give him a ride. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Hey, that's his true colors.
Yeah.
The true colors come out in situations of need. Steve was there for me. Jet drove past, Hunter drove past, a bunch of other people drove past, and you know who was there for me?
I was just happy he didn't rob me.
Yeah. Well, this is fine now. The YouTube can say that Hunter and Jet are not cool.
Yeah.
They're the jerks that didn't give you a ride, so you gave them what they wanted. You gave them what they wanted. All right, thanks, boy. Weege show. You gonna help me in San Diego?
Sure.
Steve show?
Do it. The Steve show.
I'm not going to San Diego
gotta
next
do
weekend.
it.
Steve show. Can you match this level of production though?
No, definitely
I don't
not.
think you can match this level of production. Gosh, can't walk around with a camera. It's difficult. All right, I'm gonna go to the paddock area. And I'm giving you more updates. Thanks to Zach Osborne for the actual professional analysis. Okay, now in the pits, this is the Troy Lee Designs truck. That is a Ducati. So the rumor has been going for a while that TLD had been courting, hoping to get the Ducati race team. I had heard that Ducati was looking, they were in preferential to maybe an Eastern-based race team that threw the idea of maybe JGR coming back or Phoenix Honda or something like that. I assume the East Coast thing is just because Ducati being based in Italy, East is 3 hours closer to Europe. But the TLD team, no longer with GasGas, no longer with the KTM group. This is proof they're going racing together. And that bike looks awesome. Now, there are rumors that the bike could be raced at some point in the summer in some Pro Motocross Nationals. Might get Tony Caroli doing that, which is awesome. I believe it's actually going to be homologation that's the holdup They're saying this bike will be announced in production form, shown in production form in the spring, April, May. It'll be in dealers in July. But I don't know if they're going to be able to produce enough to be able to go racing this year. So they've been pretty coy on will they be racing some nationals or not. It all depends on the homologation. Anyway, this is cool. TLD, Ducati. I think you can guarantee they'll be racing Anaheim next year. Pretty cool. The real reason we're here is because I was told the Italian food, Jill, is second to none.
Oh, so
better.
It looks so good.
It does. It's better than French food.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Oh, he'll actually agree with that. I'll actually agree with that.
I can't fight it. I can't fight it.
They're well traveled. And we've got desserts over here too. So the TLD squad has always been great for like parties in the pits. Now we're gonna have it with Italian food, so I cannot wait till this team starts racing all the time. You're not team manager though?
No, I
Hey, but you have access to it just today. That's it.
Forever?
Yeah, forever. When they start racing, you don't have access to it.
I'm stuffing my pockets. That's what I'm doing. That's great. Oh, is this tech inspection right here? Oh, this is his first sound test of the year. It's like a who's who of new bikes. All the best of the best right there. So one other topic I wanted to hit, you just saw Ducati there. That's exciting news. That is real. That is happening. They're going to be going racing in America. I guarantee you'll see them racing here next year. Who will the riders be? I don't know. That's so intriguing to think you've got an established team with TLD and an established brand outside this sport with Ducati, but you know they're not going to do anything if they're not going to come in any other way but going big. So that's exciting. But I think the biggest industry news right now, the biggest curiosity from what I see, people asking me questions on Twitter, X, whatever, is why are we not addressing the fact that KTM is in huge financial trouble? Are there guys even gonna race all year? So I asked, first I went to the man, literally the man, Roger DeCoster, asked him this morning. He kind of deferred to John Hines, who's the KTM North America president. All Roger could say is like, look, North American KTM and the racing program are a completely separate company from the KTM AG over in Europe, the one that you've heard embroiled in restructuring and insolvency over there. Separate company here. And Roger said really the focus is just on winning and building the best bikes they can and getting the best performances and results out of their riders. Day to day, they're not under this pall of the financial changes. They are racing all year. The team will not be pulling out of racing in any way, shape, or form. Then I did find Hines, and he summed it up like this. Separate company, that's for starters. Separate company than the KTM that's restructuring in Europe. They are profitable in North America. They are selling motorcycles. In fact, December was, he said, their best retail month ever. I am now lost. I don't think I can go that way. And Hines said the changes that would be coming are, look, it's about a 2-year forecasting when you're coming up with how many motorcycles you want to make. So how many motorcycles they were going to have to sell for 2024, that decision was made in 2022. We all know the industry was booming post-COVID, and they ordered a lot of motorcycles. They had a lot of motorcycles made, and they are adjusting the inventory. They're going to make less motorcycles now, and there will probably be some changes financially to reflect if you know you're going to sell fewer motorcycles, you're going to have a little less budget to spend in other things. So there will be some changes to some degree at some point over the next year. But I said, I've got the assurance from you folks that these factory teams will be here all year. I'm like, can you tell me if you will be racing for sure at this time next year? And he said, absolutely. KTM is a racing company. They will be here. They will be racing next year for sure. They're really downplaying any major fear, like major fear. But he was, hang on. Hines was very adamant that the business stuff from Europe, that's not his business. He's the KTM North America president. But the first stage of the insolvency changeover in Europe has gone well, he says. So that's encouraging news overall. But they're doing okay here specifically in America, and they are going racing all year, and they will be back racing next year. Could there be some budget tightening? Couldn't rule it out. When you know you're going to produce fewer bikes and sell fewer bikes, conceivably you're gonna need to make some adjustments because they're gonna have less revenue coming in. But that's something they will have to figure out later as these adjustments begin to get made. I can tell you, when you go over the Red Bull KTM truck or the Rockstar Husqvarna or Gas, feels the same. Still a lot of familiar faces over there. No one's been really laid off or missing from the racing team side, at least. I have heard there might be some cuts internally in the office type jobs, but the racing side seems about the same. So thanks to John Hines there for being candid about that explanation. Separate company, doesn't affect them as much over here as you would think, and they're selling bikes and they are profitable in North America. And KTM is a racing brand, they're always gonna go racing. Details might change, but they don't sound like they're going anywhere. Meanwhile, you got Ducati coming in. We know about Triumph establishing themselves. Still pretty exciting times. That COVID bump, I am not a business or financial wizard, but I believe that the overplayed hand a little bit with how many bikes KTM tried to produce, that couldn't last. We've returned to a normal level of bike sales, and I think they just got caught out by it. So that's the big story. I got to switch to TV mode and get in this elevator, and that's our show. Thanks to Honda for backing us. We'll have a lot more coming your way on this YouTube channel. We'll have two other press day videos if you want to hear from the riders and watch them ride. See you tomorrow.